Yes, my people, I don't come again with a vital update to update our mindset as it is hot. So right now, this popular actor, legendary Peter Edochie, industry come out now, come they let us know say yes, Nigeria is at the verge of collapsing if nothing is being done. And they no stop there, he also let us know the circumstances that led to the civil war, which many people now they use against the Igbos. Then inside there, he also let us know the distrust when dey between the Igbos and the Yorubas and what led to that. In fact, inside this video, you go get so many updates. And I don't want to talk too much. I want to bring up the video. For those of you who never come across this video, or when see the feel say I dey make up this video, I want to bring and come out. And as I dey bring and come out, so you as a bona fide Igbo man, you as a bona fide Nigeria, whenever you come across this video, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Share them, make it reach everybody, all the Nigeria, all over the world. Thank you.
When Nigeria became independent, I was already in St. John's College, Kaduna, in 1960. I know Nigeria's history through and through. Anybody who begins to toy with our evolutionary political history will be calling on God's damnation on himself. I don't mean maybe, I mean every word of what I am saying. We are thinking about politics in our country today, and we are paying lip service to the unity of this country. There is turbulence, there is violence, banditry, what have you. And there doesn't seem to be any genuine attempt to handle this thing. People like us, who are septuagenarians, tend to feel that our children don't have a future, which I think is very unfortunate, which I think is very regrettable. Whenever there is striking development in the north, you will hear that there's a meeting of northern governors. I have never heard that there is a meeting of southern governors. Why? Why? You see, politics, particularly democracy, is all about checks and balances. Without that, you cannot move forward. You must have dissenting voices so you can create a balance. During the war, the West teamed up with the North to engage us. Today, again, is the West teaming up with the North to engage us. And there's a deliberate policy of deprivation that is being visited on us meticulously. It's not good for the development of the country. A lot of people are clamoring for an Igbo president. You see, when you talk about the Igbos, there's always this tendency to feel that Igbos are not part of this country. There are three major tribes that make up Nigeria, also Igbo, Yoruba. And before the creation of 12 states, we had four regions: the North, the West, the East, and the Midwest. Whatever we are compelled to endure today as Igbo is the direct consequence of the coup of January 15. It was organized by soldiers. They know best why they organized the coup. I cannot tell you this is the person who was in charge of that coup or who led it, because I'm not a soldier, I wasn't there. But because the most prominent name during that coup was Chukwumanzogu, there is this conclusion that it was an Igbo coup. And if you look at developments, they tend to justify an assumption. And I'll tell you why. People were killed in the north, Ahmadu Bello, Balewa, etc., and some soldiers. In the west, Adelabu was killed. In the Midwest, Okotiebo was killed. In the east, nobody was touched. It was intact. The person who was mandated to eliminate M.I. Okpara was Ifeanyi. That was when Archbishop Macarius was visiting. And his excuse was that he couldn't kill Okpara in front of Archbishop Macarius. And this was why the coup failed in the east. So because the coup failed in the east and succeeded in other parts of the country, gave rise to this general feeling that it was an Igbo coup. Then, of course, the name Chukwuma Nzọgụ. Chukwuma Kaduna Nzọgụ was an ex-student of St. John's College, Kaduna. That was my school. He left the school before I came in. From what I hear, he was very close to the president of the North, the premier of the North then, and he handled the operation up north. I was in Zaria then, the Nigerian Railways with my father. And what happened directly afterwards, particularly on the 29th of July, was a terrible experience. And then it just continued to ricochet like that. 29th of September. Suddenly, the social media is awash with materials about January 15 and the aftermath. And I begin to ask myself, why is it necessary at this time to dig into the past? You see, give a dog a bad name and you hang it. There's a clamor for Igbo presidency. So all the things are being churned out. I don't believe that we are serious about the unity of this country. I don't think so. If we are sometimes, well, we should be bold enough to tell ourselves that bygones be bygone. If you keep looking backwards, you can never move forwards. We made our mistakes. We can forget that mistake, those mistakes now, and turn a new leaf if we are serious about wanting this country to move forward. Then you ask yourself, why can't the Igbos and the Yorubas get together in a political union? I will give you the answer. It's going to be very difficult. The Igbo man is not a very astute politician, no. If you hurt the Igbo man once, he's not likely to ever forget it. The Igbo man does not believe that perfidy is an ingredient of politics, treachery, no. So in the late 50s, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, who was then in charge of the NCNC, by the way, he didn't just acquire the NCNC, no. Herbert Macaulay was the person in charge of the NCNC. Herbert Macaulay died in Kano in 1946. Before then, he had made Zik the secretary of the NCNC. So when he died, Zik naturally assumed headship of the party. It was not an Igbo party. This was why Zik was able to win an election in Western Nigeria. What happened? It was his responsibility to form the government. The night before he was to form that government, all the Yoruba adherents of that party moved over to Obafemi Awolowo's action group. Quote me, his history. Ask Femi Fani-Kayode, he will tell you what I'm telling you now. Because he's a young man that believes in the truth. He doesn't think that distorting history will do us any good. From that moment till now, the Igbos have had a very deep distrust for the Yoruba man. It is a very, very simple thing. It's all part of our history. And I think it's good for us to forget all about this history of ours. If we have learned lessons from this history, let us now use those lessons. But we don't seem to be keen on experimenting with the lessons we must have learned from all this history that I've just given to you? We don't. And you ask yourself, do we really want this country to remain in one piece? The West is beginning to clamor for Oduduwa. The East wants Biafra. The Niger Delta says they want to be on their own. Now, we have never seen the South get together and have all their governors meet and talk with one voice, no, because of distrust. But there's something I think they could do. Now that many parts of the country believe that we require some panacea with which to keep this country together. I remember that Jonathan organized a confab before he lost to Buhari. And I said to myself, why don't we dig out the deliberations of this confab and know what they contain? Why must we run away from the truth all the time? Why? For as long as we keep agitating as individuals for restructuring without actually saying, this is an articulate blueprint, this is what we want, I don't think we are ever likely to. Why? There are people who think that restructuring may introduce some kind of reform, and that this reform may reform them out of political power. So, let's not talk about it. Let us forget it. People will talk and talk and talk and get tired. Things will be the way they